This will be for the con assignment, domain and range from graph. So just a few notes to start off. When we talk about domain, we are referring to the x values. And when we talk about range, we are referring to the y values. Okay, so you might want to write that down. And also, remember, for inequalities, the arrow always points to the less than side. Okay, so if I write x and point the arrow at x and then a 5, that means x is less than 5. Okay, and if I write something like this, that means x is greater than 5. Okay, and if you include a line under the arrow, that means x is greater than or equal to 5. Okay, so the arrow always points to the less than side. Alright, so for this graph, they're looking for the range of h. Okay, so we're dealing with the y values. Alright, and what we want to find is the lowest or minimum, and also the highest or maximum. Okay, so we're dealing with the y values. Okay, and the lowest point is this one right here, and the y value is -3. Now the highest point is right here, and the y value is +6. Okay, so the range for the y values, okay, and for this graph they called it h. So the range for h, it's going to be less than or equal to 6 and greater than or equal to -3. Okay, so h is basically the range for h. In other words, the y values, it's going to run from -3 to +6. Okay, and we can see that on the graph. So this one is multiple choice, and that's this right here. Okay, I just wrote h, but they wrote h of x. Okay, same thing. Alright, now for this one, they're looking for the domain. Okay, the domain deals with the x values. Alright, so we want the minimum and maximum x values. So the minimum, here's our x-axis. Okay, so the one furthest to the left will be the minimum. Okay, and we're looking at the x values. So this one right here is furthest to the left, and the x value for that is -5. And for the maximum, that's going to the right. That would be this point right here. You look at the x value, that's +5. Okay, so the domain for h is going to be less than or equal to 5 or greater than or equal to -5. So that's it. And that's answer A. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. When they when they refer to domain, the x values, instead of h, they use x. So that's going to be an x. Answer A. All right. Now, when it has points like this that are not connected, we do not use the greater than or less than symbols. Okay, so we're looking at the range of G. So we're looking at the y values. And again, since these points are not connected, we're not going to use the greater than or less than symbols. We're just going to look at the y-axis, okay, and the values for each point. So we'll start with the lowest one. You can see that's at -7. And we'll just work our way up. This one is at -4. This one is at -1. This one is +3. And this one is +7. Okay, so that's your answer right there. So we have -7, -4, -1, 3, and 7. Okay, since it's multiple choice, you might not have to do all the points. Okay, you can just look and see that the lowest one is -7 and the greatest one is +7. So in their list of numbers, that has to be this one right here, because it runs from -7 to +7. Okay, don't choose the one with the greater than less than arrows when there's no graph, there's just points. All right, one more. So we're looking for the domain of H. Okay, so domain deals with the x values. All right, so we'll start on the left. We have -7. And going to the right, the next one over is -3. Next one is this one right here. The number's not there, but it's -1. Then we have +1. And we have +4. Okay, notice I traced each dot to the x-axis because we're dealing with domain, so we want the x values. -7, -3, -1, 1, and 4. That's answer B. Okay, and remember, like I said, when it just has the points like this, you probably don't have to do all the points. You can just look at the minimum and the maximum. Okay, you can see the lowest is -7 and the highest is +4. So on this one, that would be this answer here. Okay, we know it's not this answer because this one has the greater than less than symbols. Okay, and you don't want to use those symbols when they only give you the dots.